My son moved his girlfriend into my house while I'm in assisted living. Found out yesterday when Mrs. Henderson from next door called. Said she saw Jason carrying boxes into my place with some blonde woman. Ashley, I think her name was. They were laughing about something on my front porch. I just smiled when she told me. Didn't get angry. Didn't curse. Didn't even raise my voice. See, I left Jason a little note on the kitchen counter before they moved in. Real simple message. Enjoy tonight. The sheriff comes at 8 a.m. He's about to learn why you never judge a book by its goodwill jacket. Because what my son doesn't know about his old man could fill a cryptocurrency wallet. And trust me, mine's pretty full. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start from the beginning. 3 weeks ago, Jason Williams, my 32-year-old son, drove his $85,000 Tesla Model S to my front door. Not for a visit, not for dinner. He came to convince me I was losing my mind. "Dad, we need to talk about your living situation," he said, standing in my doorway wearing a $1,500 suit. "You're getting confused. Forgetting things." I was wearing my usual outfit. $8 wool jacket from Goodwill, 20-year-old Wrangler jeans, scuffed work boots I bought in 1998, same clothes I'd worn for the past decade, same clothes that apparently embarrassed him. "I'm fine, son. Just fine." "No, you're not." He pushed past me into the house. "Mrs. Chen from the grocery store called me. Said you tried to pay for $43 of groceries with a $50 bill and couldn't understand why she gave you change. That was a lie. I remember that transaction perfectly. Paid with exact change from my wallet. But Jason needed a story that made me sound incompetent. "And your neighbor, Mr. Thompson? He said you asked him the same question about his dog 3 times in one conversation." Another lie. I'd asked about his dog once. Scout had been limping. Natural thing to ask about. "Dad, look around this place." Jason gestured at my living room. "You're living like a homeless person. This couch is falling apart. Your TV is from 2005. You ride the city bus everywhere because you won't buy a car. Bus gets me where I need to go. It's embarrassing, Dad. My colleagues see you getting off that bus in downtown looking like—" He paused, searching for the right words. "Looking like you don't have a family that cares about you." That hurt, more than he knew. "I've found you a place," he continued. "Sunset Manor. It's an assisted living facility. Nice place. They serve 3 meals a day, activities, people your age to talk to. I don't need—" "Yes, you do." He pulled out a tablet, started showing me photos. "Look at these beautiful rooms. Daily housekeeping, 24-hour nursing staff, physical therapy if you need it." The place looked expensive. Real expensive. "How much does this cost, Jason?" "Don't worry about that. I'll handle everything." He swiped to another photo. "They have a library, game room, even a garden where you can plant vegetables." I looked at my son's face. Saw something there I didn't like. Shame. He was ashamed of me. "Dad, I need you to understand something." His voice got softer, like he was talking to a child. "Ashley and I are getting serious. She's been staying at my apartment, but it's too small. We need space." Ashley, his girlfriend of 6 months. I'd met her twice. Both times she'd looked at my clothes like I was carrying a disease. "My apartment lease is up next month," Jason continued. "I thought maybe, temporarily, Ashley and I could stay here while we look for a house together." Now I understood. This wasn't about my mental health. This was about my 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom craftsman house. The house I bought in 1987 for $79,000. The house now worth $850,000 according to Zillow. You want me to move out so you can move in. It's not like that. What's it like then? It's temporary, Dad, just until we find our own place. He put his hand on my shoulder. And you'll be so much happier at Sunset Manor. Trust me. I looked at my son. This man I'd raised from birth. Fed him, clothed him, paid for his college education at UC Davis, helped him with his down payment on that Tesla, given him everything I had. Everything he thought I had, anyway. "Okay," I said. "Okay? I'll go to Sunset Manor." Relief flooded his face. "Really?" "On one condition." "What's that?" "I keep ownership of this house. All the paperwork stays in my name." "Of course, Dad, of course. I wouldn't dream of taking your house." He was lying. I could see it in his eyes. But I played along. "When do I move?" "How about this weekend? I can drive you over, help you get settled." "Sounds good." Jason smiled and hugged me. "You're doing the right thing, Dad. You'll see." After he left, I sat in my falling-apart couch and stared at my 2005 television. Thought about what he'd said, about being embarrassed by me, about looking homeless. Funny thing is, I could have bought 10 Teslas with cash and still had money left over for dinner. I could have worn $1,000 suits every day if I wanted, could have moved into a mansion tomorrow, but I chose to live simply, chose to save money instead of spending it, chose to invest instead of impress. My son never understood that, never bothered to ask why his old man lived the way he did. Soon, he'd find out. The phone call happened on Tuesday night, 2 days after I'd moved into Sunset Manor. I was lying in my new bed, a narrow single with scratchy sheets that cost me $4,200 a month, when I heard voices in the hallway. The walls here are thin, real thin. You can hear everything your neighbors say, do, watch on TV, but these voices weren't coming from next door. They were coming from the activity room 20 feet down the hall. Someone was on their phone, talking loud enough for half the facility to hear. I recognized the voice immediately. Jason. "Ashley, baby, I'm telling you, it worked perfectly." I got out of bed and crept to my door, pressed my ear against the wood. Yeah, he bought the whole dementia story. Moved out this weekend without a fight. Jason was laughing, actually laughing. You should have seen him packing his little suitcase, all his Goodwill clothes and that pathetic collection of paperback books. My heart started beating faster. No, the house is ours now. Well, technically it's still in his name, but he signed a power of attorney form. I can handle all his financial decisions. Wait, what power of attorney form? I told him it was just for the assisted living paperwork. He signed it without even reading it. More laughter. "Ashley, we can finally live like we deserve. No more being dragged down by that pathetic old man." I felt something cold settle in my stomach. The best part? He has no idea what the house is worth. I checked Zillow yesterday. $850,000. Even after we pay off my Tesla and your credit cards, we'll have enough to renovate the whole place. Wait. Slow down, babe. You're breaking up. Silence for a moment. Then Jason's voice came back, clearer now. "I said the neighbors love me already. Mrs. Henderson brought over a casserole yesterday. Told her dad had to move into memory care because he was getting dangerous. You know, wandering around at night, forgetting to turn off the stove. Memory care. He told the neighbors I had dementia bad enough for memory care. No, Ashley, he'll never figure it out. Look at him. The man rides the city bus because he thinks cars are too expensive. Wears the same 5 outfits from Goodwill. Lives off Social Security and whatever's left in his checking account. If only he knew what was in my other accounts. Trust me, babe. My father has never had more than $10,000 to his name his entire life. He's been poor forever, and he'll die poor. The only valuable thing he ever owned was this house, and now it's ours. Ashley's voice came through the phone speaker, loud enough for me to hear. Are you sure he can't cause problems for us legally? With what money? With what lawyers? The man shops at thrift stores, Ashley. He clips coupons from the Sunday paper. He counts change at the grocery store like every penny matters. Jason's voice was getting excited now. Besides, even if he wanted to fight this, who's going to believe a confused old man in assisted living over his successful son who's just trying to take care of him? What if he tries to move back? He can't. I'm his power of attorney now. If he gets disruptive, I can have him moved to memory care. Full lockdown. No visitors without permission. The room started spinning around me. Ashley, listen to me. For 32 years, I've been embarrassed by that man. Embarrassed by his clothes, his habits, his complete lack of ambition. You know what he told me once? He said he was saving money for something important. Important? The man's 66 years old. What could possibly be important enough to live like a homeless person for? I gripped the door frame to steady myself. But that's over now. Finally over. Tomorrow I'm having the locks changed. Getting the utilities switched to my name. Starting fresh. Jason paused. You know what I'm going to do first? Throw away every piece of furniture in that house. Everything. The falling apart couch, the ancient dining room table, those hideous lamps he got from garage sales. All of it. Going straight to the dumpster. Even his books? Especially his books. 20-year-old paperbacks about investing in real estate. Like he was ever going to use that information. Jason laughed again. The man who thinks a $40 dinner is expensive, reading books about building wealth.
It's pathetic. Those books taught me everything I know about cryptocurrency, about real estate investing, about building the kind of wealth my son couldn't imagine. I'm going to redecorate the whole place, modern furniture, 65-inch smart TV, professional kitchen renovation, turn it into the kind of house we deserve to live in. With what money? I'm going to take out a home equity loan against the house. $850,000 value, minimal mortgage left. We can borrow $300,000 easy. Maybe $400. A loan against my house to pay for their lifestyle. Jason, what if your dad finds out? Finds out what? Finds out from where? Ashley, the man doesn't even own a smartphone. Doesn't use email.
Doesn't have internet in his room here.
The only way he gets information is when I visit him, and I'll only tell him what he needs to know. When's your next visit? I'm thinking maybe Christmas. That gives us 8 months to get everything set up exactly how we want it. 8 months. He planned to abandon me here for 8 months. Ashley, I need you to understand something. My father is a loser. Always has been. But his house is worth almost $1 million, and now it's ours. We're going to live like millionaires. The call ended. I stood there in the dark hallway of Sunset Manor, wearing my $8 Goodwill jacket, and smiled. The next morning, I made my first phone call in 3 weeks. Tom Anderson speaking. Tom, it's Bill Davis. Silence on the other end. Then, Bill? Jesus Christ, where have you been? I've been trying to reach you for months. Tom had been my financial advisor for 15 years. More than that, really. He was my friend.
One of the few people who knew the truth about my situation. I've been dealing with some family issues. Are you okay? You sound different. I was sitting in the Sunset Manor activity room, same place Jason had made his phone call the night before. It was 7 a.m. Most residents were still asleep. Tom, I need you to listen carefully. I'm ready. Ready for what? Ready to stop playing poor. I heard Tom's chair creak as he sat up. What happened? My son happened. I told him everything. The assisted living con, the power of attorney fraud, the home equity loan plan, the 8-month abandonment schedule. That little bastard, Tom muttered. Bill, I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry. Be ready to work. What do you need? First, I need you to call Sarah Wilson at the assisted living facility. She's the director here. Tell her you're conducting a routine financial competency evaluation for one of your clients. Schedule it for this afternoon. Financial competency evaluation? I need official documentation that I'm mentally sound. Written proof from a licensed financial professional that I can make my own decisions about money. Done. What else? Second, I need you to pull together a complete portfolio summary. Every account, every investment, every property. I want exact numbers as of yesterday's close. The full 38 million, every penny. I heard Tom typing on his keyboard. This is going to be extensive, Bill. Real estate alone is spread across 12 properties in 3 states. How long will it take? Give me 2 days, maybe 3 if you want the real estate appraised at current market value. I want everything appraised. Current market value. Professional documentation. Can I ask why? I looked around the activity room. Faded wallpaper, fluorescent lights, plastic chairs arranged in sad little circles. This place cost me $4,200 a month, and it looked like a DMV waiting room. I'm done being underestimated, Tom. About damn time. Tom paused. Bill, what about the house? What about it? Your son can't actually take out a loan against it. You're still the legal owner. I know. So when he applies for the home equity loan, the bank will contact me directly for verification. And? I smiled. I'm going to let him think it's approved. Let him make plans. Let him spend money he doesn't have yet. That's evil, Bill. That's justice. What's your end game here? I stood up and walked to the window. Outside, I could see the parking lot. Jason's Tesla was sitting in a visitor's space. He was here for his weekly check-on-dad visit. Tom, do you remember what you told me when Bitcoin was trading at $200? I told you were crazy to buy so much. Do you remember what you told me when I bought that duplex in Portland for $80,000? I told you Oregon real estate was overpriced. Do you remember what you told me when I started collecting rental properties instead of buying new cars? I told you to enjoy your money while you were still young enough to spend it. And what did I tell you? Tom chuckled. You told me you were building something,
something your son would inherit someday. Well, my son just proved he doesn't deserve to inherit anything. Through the window, I watched Jason walk toward the facility entrance. He was wearing another expensive suit, $1,500 suit to visit his father in assisted living. The irony was perfect. So what's the plan? I'm going to teach him a lesson about assumptions. How? There's a charity gala this Saturday night, St. Mary's Children's Hospital fundraiser. Big event. 500 guests, local media coverage. I know the event.
You've donated to them before. Anonymously. Small amounts. But this year I want to be the keynote speaker. Keynote speaker? I want to announce a major donation. Very major. Very public. How major are we talking? $25 million. Tom whistled. That's 2/3 of your liquid assets. I want it announced in my son's name. The Jason Williams Foundation for Children's Hospital. Bill. My son wants to live like a millionaire, Tom. I'm going to show him what that actually looks like. And then I'm going to show him what it costs. Through the window, I watched Jason disappear into the building. In 30 seconds, he'd be walking into my room, probably with some story about how well he was taking care of my house. Tom, can you have everything ready by Friday? The portfolio summary? Everything. Portfolio, competency evaluation, charity paperwork, media contacts. Consider it done. One more thing. Yeah? Call the sheriff's department. Tell them I need to file a complaint about elder abuse and financial fraud. Are you sure about this, Bill? I heard footsteps in the hallway. Jason coming to lie to my face about how much he cared about my well-being. I've never been more sure about anything in my life. Thursday afternoon, the lights went out at my house. I was sitting in the Sunset Manor dining room, picking at a slice of meatloaf that tasted like cardboard, when my phone buzzed. Text message from Jason. Dad, weird thing happened. Power went out at your house. Must be a billing issue. I'll look into it. I smiled and typed back, Oh no, that's strange. I'll call the electric company tomorrow and see what's wrong. But I already knew what was wrong. I'd called Pacific Gas and Electric that morning and requested service disconnection for non-payment. Not because the bill wasn't paid. It was automatically deducted from my checking account every month, but because I'd canceled the automatic payment on Tuesday. 3 days late, and they shut it off. Just like that. My phone buzzed again. This time it was a phone call. Dad, the power's been out for 4 hours. Ashley's freaking out. Her laptop died, and she has a work presentation tomorrow. That's terrible, son. Did you check the breaker box? It's not the breakers. The whole neighborhood has power except our house. Our house. He was already calling it our house. Maybe there's a problem with the meter. Dad, this is serious. All the food in the refrigerator is going to spoil, and it's supposed to get down to 40 degrees tonight. Have you called the electric company? Yes. I've been on hold for 2 hours. When I finally got through, they said the account is delinquent. Delinquent? How is that possible? That's what I want to know. Jason's voice was getting sharp. Dad, when's the last time you paid your electric bill? I don't know. I thought it was automatic. Well, it's not automatic anymore. They want $468 to turn it back on, plus a reconnection fee. $468. That was probably more cash than Jason had in his wallet. That seems like a lot of money, I said. Dad, can you call them? Maybe if you explain that you're in assisted living and forgot to pay. I'll try to call them tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning? Dad, we need heat tonight. Ashley's already talking about staying at a hotel. A hotel sounds expensive. It is expensive. Dad, this is your house. You need to take care of this. Actually, it was my house, and I was taking care of it exactly how I wanted to. Son, I'm sure it will work out. Work out? Dad, are you listening to me? We're sitting here in the dark and it's getting cold, and you're acting like this is no big deal. I'm sure the electric company will understand. These things happen. Silence on the other end. Then, Dad, I'm going to drive over there tomorrow morning and pay the bill myself. That's very generous of you. Generous? It's not generous, it's necessary. Someone has to act like an adult here. He hung up. 20 minutes later, my phone buzzed with another text. Dad, do you have any cash saved up? Even a few $100s? This is an emergency. I typed back, I'll check my accounts tomorrow and see what I can do. But I already knew what was in my checking account. The account Jason thought contained my life savings, $87.43. An hour later, another text. Ashley and I are staying at the Marriott tonight. $189 plus tax. This is ridiculous. I didn't respond. Friday morning, I was eating breakfast, rubbery scrambled eggs and toast that could break windows, when Tom Anderson called. Bill, I've got your portfolio summary ready. You want the good news or the amazing news first? Give me the amazing news. Your Bitcoin holdings are up 18% since last month. Current value, $22.4 million. I nearly choked on my orange juice. 22 million? 22.4. Your 2009 investment of $12,000 is now worth more than most people make in a lifetime. I'd started mining Bitcoin in 2009 when it was worth basically nothing. Kept mining until 2013. Accumulated nearly 800 coins before I stopped. Everyone thought I was crazy, wasting electricity on fake internet money. Now those 800 coins were worth $28,000 each. What's the good news? Your real estate portfolio is worth $15.8 million at current market rates. The Portland duplex you bought for $80,000? It's worth $420,000 now. Total assets? $38.2 million. Liquid assets, $29.1 million. I sat back in my plastic dining room chair and tried to process those numbers. $38 million. More money than my son would make in 10 lifetimes, even with his fancy tech job. Tom, did you get the competency evaluation set up? Dr. Wilson examined you yesterday afternoon. Clean bill of mental health. She said you scored higher on the cognitive assessment than most 40-year-olds. Perfect. She also said your son is an idiot for putting you in that place. What about the charity gala? You're confirmed as keynote speaker for Saturday night. They're over the moon about the $25 million donation. Local news is going to cover it. Channel 7 and Channel 12 both confirmed. Excellent. Bill, there's something else. Your son applied for a home equity loan yesterday. Already? First National Bank. He's asking for $350,000 against the house. What did you tell them? Nothing yet. They're required to verify ownership with you directly. They'll call this afternoon. Perfect timing. What do you want me to tell them? I thought about Jason and Ashley shivering in their Marriott hotel room last night. Thought about Jason spending $189 he probably didn't have plus tax because he was too proud to ask his poor father for help. Tell them the application looks fine. Pre-approval shouldn't be a problem. You're going to let him think the loan went through? I'm going to let him plan his whole future around money that doesn't exist. That's diabolical. That's justice. My phone buzzed. Text from Jason. Dad, power's back on. Whatever you did worked. Thanks. I typed back. So glad I could help, son. How's Ashley doing? She's fine. Stressed about the hotel bill, but fine. Hotel bill? $189. Not a huge deal, but every dollar counts right now. Every dollar counts. This from the man planning to borrow $350,000 against my house. I'm sure you'll figure it out, I typed. Yeah, actually, Dad, I have some good news. I might be able to get a loan to fix up the house, make some improvements. That sounds wonderful. It'll be great for both of us, increase the property value. I can't wait to see what you have planned. Oh, I really couldn't wait. Saturday morning, Jason stormed into Sunset Manor like he owned the place. I was in the activity room playing checkers with Harold Thompson, a retired accountant who beat me every single game. Jason didn't knock, didn't ask if I was busy, just marched over to our table and slammed a folder down next to the checkerboard. Dad, we need to talk, now. Harold looked up from the board. Young man, we're in the middle of a game. This won't take long. Jason pulled out a chair and sat down without being invited. Dad, I just got off the phone with First National Bank. Oh? What did they want? They wanted to verify some information about the home equity loan. I moved my checker forward one space. Harold immediately jumped it and claimed my piece. What kind of information? They said you approved the loan, $350,000. Did I? Jason's eyes narrowed. Dad, this is important. Do you remember talking to someone from the bank? I talk to lots of people. Sometimes I forget. That was a lie. I remembered every conversation perfectly. Tom had coached me on exactly what to tell the bank. Cooperative, but vague. concerned but trusting. The perfect confused father who just wanted to help his son. Dad, focus. The banker said you gave permission for me to borrow against the house. If I said it was okay, then it must be okay. But do you understand what that means? I looked at Harold. He was pretending to study the checkerboard, but I could tell he was listening to every word. It means you're getting a loan. Right, a loan against your house, Dad. Our house, I corrected him. You live there now. Jason relaxed slightly. Exactly. Our house. And with this loan, Ashley and I can make some improvements. New kitchen, new floors, maybe add a deck. That sounds expensive. It is expensive, but it's an investment. These improvements will increase the property value by more than what we spend. Harold moved another checker. He was setting up a triple jump that would end the game. How much are you planning to spend? I asked. Well, the loan is for $350,000, but we might not spend all of it. Maybe $200,000 on renovations. Keep the rest for emergencies. Keep the rest. He was planning to pocket $150,000 of my equity for emergencies. That's a lot of money, son. Dad, this is how wealthy people think. You borrow against your assets to build more wealth. Wealthy people. Jason had no idea what wealthy looked like. And the bank approved this? Pending final paperwork. Should be finalized Monday morning. Monday morning. The same day I'd be meeting with the sheriff to file elder abuse charges. I'm proud of you, Jason. You're really taking care of everything. Relief flooded his face. I am, Dad. I really am. What does Ashley think about all this? Ashley's excited. She's already been looking at kitchen designs online. Found this amazing Italian marble countertop that would be perfect. Italian marble. Probably $20,000 for countertops. She has expensive taste. She has good taste. There's a difference. Jason leaned forward. Dad, I need you to understand something. Ashley's not like the other women I've dated. She's sophisticated. She appreciates quality. Quality costs money. That's why this loan is so important. With this house, with these improvements, we can live the lifestyle we deserve. Harold jumped 3 of my checkers and won the game. Sorry, Bill. Maybe next time. That's okay, Harold. I've got some winning to do later tonight. Jason looked confused. What's later tonight? Oh, nothing important, just a little charity event. Charity event? St. Mary's Children's Hospital. They're having a fundraiser. You're going to a fundraiser? Dad, you don't have money to donate to charity. Everyone has something to give. Jason laughed. Dad, you're living in assisted living on Social Security. What could you possibly donate? I stood up from the table and smiled. You'd be surprised what an old man can give when he puts his mind to it. Dad, please don't embarrass yourself by trying to donate money you don't have. Don't worry about me embarrassing anyone, son. Jason shook his head and gathered up his papers. I'll call you tomorrow and let you know how the loan paperwork goes. I look forward to hearing about it. After he left, Harold looked at me with curiosity. Bill, what's this charity event really about? I started setting up the checkers for another game. Harold, have you ever seen a rich man learn he's not as smart as he thinks he is? Can't say that I have. Well, you might want to watch Channel 7 News tonight. By Saturday afternoon, the story had already started spreading. It began with a Facebook post from Ashley Taylor. I found out about it when Tom Anderson called me at 3 p.m., laughing so hard he could barely speak. Bill, you need to see this. Your son's girlfriend just posted a photo tour of her new home. What kind of photos? Pictures of your living room, your kitchen, your backyard. Caption says, finally moving into our dream house. So grateful for Jason's family support during this transition. #blessed, new beginnings, home improvement. I was sitting in my Sunset Manor room, putting on my one good suit for the charity gala. The suit was 20 years old, but it still fit perfectly. How many people liked the post? 43 likes, 12 comments, but that's not the best part. What's the best part? She tagged the location, your address, and she tagged Jason in every photo. Perfect. Social media evidence of them living in my house without permission. Tom, are you recording all this? Screenshots of everything. The post, the comments, the metadata showing when and where the photos were taken. My phone buzzed with a text message. Jason. Dad, Ashley's really excited about the house. She posted some photos online. Hope that's okay. I typed back, of course. I'm glad she's happy. But I was reading the comments on her post through Tom's screenshots, and they were interesting. Beautiful house. How can you afford this place?
Someone named Jennifer had commented. Ashley's response, Jason's been so responsible with money. Plus his father is helping them out, by giving them my house while I lived in assisted living. Another comment from someone called Mike_Davis_PDX. Isn't this Bill Davis's house? I thought he lived there. Ashley's response, Bill had to move into assisted care. Memory issues. So sad, but Jason is taking care of everything now. Memory issues. She was telling Jason's neighbors that I had dementia. Tom, are you getting this? Every word. This is elder abuse documentation in real time. What else? Jason shared the post on his own Facebook page. Added his own comment. New chapter begins now. Sometimes you have to make hard decisions for family. Hard decisions, like lying to your father and stealing his house. The comments on Jason's post are even better, Tom continued. His coworkers are congratulating him on the upgrade. Someone from his office said, Finally got rid of the old man, huh? Did Jason respond to that? He did. He said, Sometimes you have to prioritize your own life. I sat down on my narrow bed and stared at my reflection in the mirror above the dresser. 76 years old, wearing a Goodwill jacket over a 20-year-old suit, living in a room that looked like a prison cell. According to my son's social media, I was a burden that had been successfully eliminated. Tom, has the media picked up on the charity story yet? Channel 7 just posted a preview on their website. Local anonymous donor to make major announcement at St. Mary's fundraiser tonight. Hospital officials say the donation could be the largest in their history. Good. Channel 12 is sending a camera crew. The hospital's communications director called me an hour ago, wanting to confirm details about your speech.
What did you tell her? I told her you preferred to keep the specifics private until tonight, but I hinted that their funding problems were about to be solved. Perfect. My phone buzzed again. This time it was a call from Jason. Dad, I saw on the news that there's some big donor at your charity thing tonight. Really? I haven't been watching the news. Yeah, apparently someone's making a huge donation to the children's hospital. Pretty cool. That is cool. Dad, you're not trying to donate money tonight, are you? Why would you ask that? I just want to make sure you're not getting confused about your financial situation. Your financial situation. Like he was my accountant instead of my son. Don't worry about me, Jason. It's just that sometimes older people, especially people with memory issues, they think they have more money than they actually do. I understand my financial situation perfectly. Good. Because Ashley and I are depending on you to be responsible right now. With the house loan and everything. Depending on me to be responsible, while they spent my equity on Italian marble countertops. I'll be very responsible tonight, son. Okay, good. Have fun at your little charity thing. 500 guests, live television coverage, and a $25 million donation announcement. Oh, I will. I really will. After I hung up, I finished getting dressed, put on my ancient black dress shoes, straightened my 20-year-old tie, checked my reflection one more time. Tonight, my son was going to learn the difference between being poor and choosing to live simply. Tonight, he was going to learn what embarrassment actually felt like. At 5 p.m., Tom Anderson arrived at Sunset Manor with a briefcase full of documentation that would change my son's life forever. We met in the facility's conference room, a windowless space with fluorescent lights and the smell of disinfectant. Tom spread papers across the fake wood table like a lawyer preparing for trial. Bill, this is everything. Portfolio summary, real estate holdings, cryptocurrency records, bank statements, the works. I picked up the first document. Account summary from Wells Fargo Private Banking. Current balance, $4,287,643.22. This is just one account. One of 7. Your crypto holdings are with Coinbase. Real estate investments are managed through Pacific Coast Properties, and your charitable foundation account is with Bank of America. Tom handed me a bound folder. Here's the complete breakdown. I opened it to the first page. William Davis, Confidential Asset Summary. Date, October 19th, 2024. Liquid Assets, Wells Fargo. Private Banking, $4,287,643.22, Bank of America. Investment account $3,156,891.45 asterisk Coinbase Pro. Bitcoin holdings $22,456,789. 33 asterisk Coinbase Pro. Ethereum holdings $1,876,543.21 asterisk Charles Schwab. Retirement account $2,234,567.89. Total liquid assets $34,012,435.10. Real estate holdings asterisk primary residence Portland, Oregon $850,000 estimated value asterisk duplex Portland, Oregon $420,000 estimated value asterisk triplex Seattle, WA $765,000 estimated value asterisk single family Boise, Idaho $315,000 estimated value asterisk commercial building Salem, Oregon $1,200,000 estimated value asterisk plus 7 additional properties see attached. Total real estate value $4,890,000. Grand total net worth $38,902,435.10. $38.9 million. More money than most people could imagine. Tom, do you have the Bitcoin transaction history? Right here. He handed me another folder. This shows your initial purchases in 2009 and 2010. $12,450 total investment. Current value, $22.4 million. I flipped through pages of blockchain records. Transaction after transaction, showing coins purchased when Bitcoin was worth 50 cents, $1.20, $5.80, $47.30. Everyone thought I was crazy. My own son laughed at me for wasting electricity on computer games. What about the Charity Foundation paperwork? Already filed with the IRS. The Jason Williams Foundation for Children's Healthcare is officially established. You're listed as the primary benefactor. Jason is listed as the honorary namesake. Perfect. Bill, there's something else. Your son's home equity loan application. Tom pulled out a manila envelope. The bank sent me copies of everything Jason submitted. Income verification, asset declarations, personal financial statement. I opened the envelope. Jason's loan application was extensive. 12 pages of forms, financial disclosures, employment verification from his tech company. On page 4, under monthly income, Jason had listed $8,750. Not bad for a 32-year-old. On page 7, under assets, he'd listed his Tesla, $65,000 remaining value, his checking account, $2,340, his savings account, $8,900, and his 401k, $47,000. Total net worth, $123,240. My son thought he was worth $123,000. I was worth 315 times that amount. Tom, what happens when the bank discovers I never actually approved this loan? Loan fraud. Federal crime, especially since he forged your signature on the power of attorney document. You confirmed it was forged? Handwriting analysis. The signature on the power of attorney doesn't match any of your other signatures on file. Jason tried to copy your handwriting and failed. I studied the signature. It didn't even look close to mine. What about the social media evidence? Tom pulled out his laptop. I've been monitoring both Jason and Ashley's accounts. 67 posts between them showing them living in your house, referring to it as their house, making plans for renovations. He clicked through screenshots. Photo after photo of them in my living room, my kitchen, my backyard. Ashley posing with my furniture, Jason grilling on my deck. The best one is from this morning, Tom said, clicking to a new image. It was a selfie of Jason and Ashley in my bedroom. My bedroom. They were lying in my bed, smiling at the camera. Ashley's caption read, "Saturday morning vibes in our beautiful master suite. Jason spoils me so much. #lucky girl, #new house, #sweet dreams." Our beautiful master suite. In my house, while I slept on a narrow single bed in assisted living. Tom, is the sheriff ready? Deputy Martinez will be at the gala tonight. Plain clothes but official capacity. He'll serve the eviction notice and the elder abuse investigation papers simultaneously. What about media coverage? Channel 7, Channel 12, and the Portland Tribune are all sending photographers. The hospital's communications team has been promoting the mystery donor story all week. Social media? The hospital is live streaming the entire event on Facebook and YouTube. They're expecting over 2,000 viewers online. Perfect. I closed the asset summary folder and looked at Tom. 15 years ago when I hired you, you told me I was too conservative with my investments. You were. I kept pushing you to spend more. Enjoy your wealth. What do you think now? Tom smiled. I think your son is about to learn that the quiet millionaire is the most dangerous kind. Not millionaire, Tom, multimillionaire. Right, $38 million mistake. I stood up and straightened my tie. Time to go teach my boy about consequences. The grand ballroom at the downtown Marriott was packed with 500 of Portland's most prominent citizens. I arrived at 6:30 p.m., 30 minutes before the program started. The event coordinator, a nervous woman named Jennifer Walsh, met me at the entrance. Mr. Davis, thank you so much for coming. The hospital board is incredibly excited about your announcement tonight. My pleasure, Jennifer. She led me through the crowd toward the head table. Everywhere I looked, I saw expensive suits, designer dresses, jewelry that cost more than most people's cars, the elite of Portland, all gathered to support sick children, all about to witness my son's public destruction. Mr. Davis, we've seated you at the head table with Dr. Harrison, our chief of staff, and Mayor Williams. You'll be our final speaker of the evening. Perfect. Save the best for last. Before we begin, would you like to review your remarks with our communications team? That won't be necessary. I prefer to speak from the heart. At 6:45, I spotted them. Jason and Ashley walked into the ballroom like they owned the place. Jason wore a black tuxedo that probably cost $3,000. Ashley wore a silver evening gown with jewelry that sparkled under the chandeliers. They looked like money. New money, flashy money, borrowed money. I was wearing my 20-year-old suit from Men's Warehouse. They found their assigned table, table 12, toward the back of the room, and sat down with 7 other couples I didn't recognize. Probably Jason's work colleagues and their wives. I watched Ashley pull out her phone and start taking selfies, posted one immediately to Instagram with the caption, "Date night at Portland's most exclusive charity gala. Jason looks so handsome in his tux. Hash power couple hash, charity gala hash. Blessed." At 7 p.m., Jennifer Walsh stepped to the podium. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to St. Mary's Children's Hospital Annual Fundraising Gala. Applause filled the room. Tonight, we celebrate 15 years of providing world-class pediatric care to families throughout the Pacific Northwest. But more importantly, we look toward the future. She gestured toward a large screen that showed images of children in hospital beds, smiling despite their circumstances. St. Mary's treats over 12,000 children each year. Heart surgery for newborns, cancer treatment for teenagers, emergency care for accident victims. We save lives every single day. More applause. But we can only continue this work with your support. Tonight, our goal is to raise $2.8 million for our new pediatric wing. I saw Jason checking his phone, probably calculating how much he could afford to donate. With his salary and the home equity loan, he might pledge $5,000, maybe $10,000 if he wanted to impress Ashley. He had no idea what was coming. Before dinner, I'd like to introduce Dr. Michael Harrison, Chief of Staff at St. Mary's S. Dr. Harrison spoke for 10 minutes about medical advances, surgical procedures, and the hospital's need for expanded facilities. The crowd was polite but restless. Everyone was here for the social aspect, not medical lectures. During dinner, salmon with asparagus and rice pilaf. I watched Jason and Ashley's table. They were having animated conversations, laughing, taking photos. Ashley kept showing her phone to the other women, probably sharing pictures of their house renovations. At 8:15, Jennifer returned to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the highlight of our evening. Our keynote speaker tonight is someone very special. A longtime supporter of St. Mary's who has chosen to remain anonymous throughout his years of giving. I saw Tom Anderson enter the room from the side door. He was carrying a wireless microphone and a manila envelope, our signal that everything was ready. His contributions to our hospital have been steady, consistent, and deeply appreciated. But tonight, he's prepared to make an announcement that will change everything for St. Mary's Children's Hospital. I stood up from the head table. Several people near the front recognized me and began whispering, "Please welcome Mr. William Davis." Polite applause as I walked to the podium. I could see Jason's table from here. He was staring at me with confusion. Ashley had stopped taking photos. I adjusted the microphone and looked out at 500 faces. "Good evening. My name is Bill Davis, and I've been supporting St. Mary's Children's Hospital for 15 years. The room was quiet, attentive. 15 years ago, my grandson needed emergency surgery. He was 3 years old, hit by a car while riding his bicycle. Dr. Harrison and his team saved that boy's life. Actually, I never had a grandson, but the story worked perfectly. Since then, I've donated to this hospital every year. Small amounts, $1,000 here, $500 there. Always anonymously, because I believe charity should be private." I paused and looked directly at Jason's table. He was frowning now, trying to understand why his father was speaking at a major charity event. "But tonight, I want to do something different. Tonight, I want to make a donation in honor of someone very important to me, someone who taught me about family, about responsibility, about what really matters in life." Ashley had put down her phone. She was listening intently. "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to announce the establishment of the Jason Williams Foundation for Children's Healthcare." Gasps from the audience. Jason's face went white. "The Jason Williams Foundation will provide funding for pediatric heart surgery, cancer treatment, and emergency care for children whose families cannot afford treatment." More gasps. Someone started applauding. "The initial donation to establish this foundation is $25 million. The room exploded. People jumped to their feet, applauding wildly. Camera flashes started going off. Jennifer Walsh looked like she might faint, but I wasn't done. "Jason Williams is my son." The applause stopped abruptly. You could hear a pin drop. 3 weeks ago, Jason convinced me to move into assisted living. He said I was getting confused, forgetting things, becoming a danger to myself. I looked directly at Jason. He was gripping the edge of the table, his knuckles white. He told me I needed professional care because I couldn't take care of myself anymore. Said I was embarrassing him with my poor appearance and simple lifestyle. Murmurs started rippling through the crowd. What Jason didn't know is that I've been testing him. For years, I've lived simply, saved money, invested carefully. I wanted to see if my son loved me for who I was, or for what he thought I could give him. Ashley had started crying. Not tears of joy, tears of recognition. 3 days ago, Jason moved his girlfriend into my house without permission. They're planning to renovate it with money from a home equity loan they obtained by forging my signature. The murmurs turned into shocked conversations. They've been telling neighbors that I have dementia, posting on social media that I'm a burden they've successfully eliminated. I pulled out my phone and projected Ashley's Instagram post onto the large screen behind me. The photo of her and Jason in my bedroom, with the caption about their beautiful master suite. This was posted this morning, from my bedroom, in my house, while I slept in assisted living. The crowd was buzzing now. People were turning to look at Jason's table. But here's what my son doesn't understand about family. I gestured to Tom Anderson, who handed me the manila envelope. Family isn't about what you can take. It's about what you're willing to give. I opened the envelope and pulled out the asset summary. My current net worth is $38.9 million. I earned this money through careful investing, real estate, and early cryptocurrency adoption. I've been a millionaire for 15 years. Someone in the crowd shouted, "Holy shit!" before catching themselves. I chose to live simply because I wanted to teach my son that character matters more than money. That humility is more valuable than luxury. That family means love, not just inheritance. I looked at Jason again. He was staring at me like I was a stranger. Unfortunately, my son failed that test. Deputy Martinez appeared at Jason's table. He was holding official papers. "Jason Williams, you're being served with eviction notice for unlawful occupancy of 47 Maple Street. You have 24 hours to vacate the premises." Ashley screamed. Actually screamed. "You're also being served with papers for an elder abuse investigation, including financial fraud and forged documents." The deputy placed the papers in front of Jason, who sat frozen in his chair. I turned back to the microphone. The $25 million donation to St. Mary's Children's Hospital is real. The Jason Williams Foundation is real, but Jason Williams will have no involvement in its management. I paused and smiled. Sometimes the best way to honor someone is to do exactly the opposite of what they would do. The room erupted in applause, but it was different now. Uncomfortable applause. People didn't know whether to cheer or stare. Ashley stood up from the table and ran toward the exit. Her silver dress caught the light as she fled. Jason sat alone at table 12, holding eviction papers, while 500 people watched his world collapse on live television. I stepped away from the podium and walked back to my seat. Justice served. Sunday morning, I woke up in my new home. Not Sunset Manor, not my old house. A luxury senior living community called Cascade Heights, where the monthly rent cost more than Jason's car payment, and every room had a view of Mount Hood. Tom Anderson had arranged the move Saturday night while I was at the gala. Professional movers, storage for my old furniture, everything handled while my son was being evicted by the sheriff's department. I was eating breakfast, real eggs Benedict with fresh fruit, when Tom called with an update. "Bill, it's done. Jason and Ashley moved out at 6 this morning, left the house exactly as they found it, except for a broken wine glass in the kitchen." "What about the home equity loan?" "Canceled. The bank's fraud investigation unit is handling it now. They're not pressing charges, but Jason's application will be flagged in the banking system." "And his job?" "He resigned Friday afternoon." Apparently his employer doesn't appreciate elder abuse scandals involving their senior staff. I looked out my new window at the mountain view, snow-capped peaks, clear blue sky, the kind of morning that makes you grateful to be alive. Tom, has he tried to contact me? No calls, no texts, no emails, but there was something else. What? He drove by Sunset Manor yesterday afternoon. The staff said he sat in his car for 20 minutes just staring at the building. I set down my coffee cup. Did he come inside? No, just sat there, then drove away. My phone buzzed with a text message. Unknown number. "Dad, I know you probably don't want to hear from me. I know I messed up, really messed up. I'm staying with a friend until I figure things out. I lost my job. Ashley left me. The bank account is frozen. I don't know what to do." I stared at the message for a long time. Another text. "I'm sorry, I thought I was smarter than you. I was wrong about everything." Then, "Could we maybe talk sometime? I know I don't deserve it, but I'd like to try to fix this. If that's even possible." I typed back, "The Jason Williams Foundation needs volunteers. Children's Hospital, helping families who can't afford treatment. No pay, just service. If you're interested in learning what real wealth looks like, be there Monday at 9 a.m. 3 minutes later, "I'll be there." I deleted his number and finished my breakfast. Outside my window, the mountain peaks caught the morning light, turning snow into gold. Some lessons cost millions of dollars. The important ones are worth every penny.